everyone. I'm Anita Jason, and today I will be taking leukotrienes and platelet activating factor, which belongs to a portion of eicosanoids, whose introduction has been already taken for you by two of our friends earlier. We'll be starting with a brief introduction. As we all know, prostaglandins and leukotrienes are biologically active derivatives of arachidonic acid, which has been formed from the cell membrane phospholipids by the action of phospholipid A2. They are the major lipid-derived autocoids. Unlike histamine, eicosanoids are not already formed and stored inside the cells, but they will be generated in response to a chemical stimuli from the phospholipid precursors. These chemical stimuli can include thrombin action on platelets, antigen-antibody reaction on mast cells, or general cell damage. So they will be implicated. They are implicated in the control of many physiological processes, and they are one of the most important mediators and modulators of the inflammatory reaction. So they are very significant target for the drug action, that is the anti-inflammatory drugs. As they are involved in the inflammatory reaction, they are very significant targets for anti-inflammatory drugs. Now, leukotrienes, leuco meaning they are made from white blood cells, trienes meaning they contain a conjugated triene system of double bonds, 3 conjugated double bonds. They are synthesized from arachidonic acid by lipoxygenase LOX pathway, and they produce open-chain compounds. This is in contrast to the prostaglandins, which are closed-chain compounds. They have been simply designated as A, B, C till F, depending upon the ring structure, and are given subscripts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Unlike PGs, they do not undergo cyclization and reduction, and the biologically important ones are LTB4, LTC4, LTD4. I'll be giving a quick recap on the biosynthesis also. Biosynthesis of leukotrienes, phospholipids gets acted upon by phospholipase A2 enzyme producing arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid acts upon by 12-lipoxygenase enzyme producing 12-HPETE, which is 12-hydroperoxyecosatetraenoic acid. Further gets converted to 12-HEET, which is a chemotactic agent. Arachidonic acid also gets acted upon by 15-lipoxygenase enzyme, gets converted to 15-HPETE. Further action gets converted to 15-HETE, and by the action of enzyme 5-lipoxygenase produces lipoxins A and B. Another pathway, lipoxygenase arachidonic acid gets acted upon by 5-lipoxygenase producing 5-HPETE. It gets converted to 5-HETE. Also, some of the 5-HPET gets converted to leukotriene A4, which is an unstable compound, and we can also say that this is a precursor for the rest of the leukotrienes. Another important factor to be noted is that 15-lipoxygenase enzyme is only present in the platelets, and the lipoxins A and B will be formed in the platelets. Now we know that leukotrienes are involved in the inflammatory action inside the body, whereas the lipoxins produced by lipoxygenase enzymes itself is an anti-inflammatory agent. Now, the enzyme 5-lipoxygenase is one of the most important enzymes in the whole lipoxygenase enzyme family. Leukotriene A4 gets acted upon by the enzyme hydroxylase, producing leukotriene D4. By the next pathway, it gets acted upon by glutathione S transferase, producing leukotriene C4. Leukotriene C4 acts as a precursor by getting acted upon by the enzyme gamma-glutamyl transpeptidase. A molecule of gamma-glutamic acid goes out, and we get leukotriene D4. From leukotriene D4, leukotriene E4 will be formed by the action of the enzyme dipeptidase. Leukotriene E4 acts as a precursor gets acted upon by gamma-glutamyl transpeptidase. A molecule of gamma-glutamic acid goes out, producing leukotriene F4. If we look into the structures of leukotriene C4, D4, E4, and F4, we find that all of them contain a cysteine group. That is why they are all called cysteine leukotrienes. Lipoxygenases are soluble systolic enzymes present in the lungs, WBCs, platelets, and mast cells. The main enzyme in this group is 5-lipoxygenase. Cell activation due to very various chemical stimuli leads to translocation of the enzyme into the nucleus. The enzyme then interacts with FLAP, which is 5-lipoxygenase activating protein, which is one of the very crucial protein that carries the arachidonic acid to 5-lipoxygenase. The enzyme adds a hydroperoxy group in the 5th carbon of the arachidonic acid and it produces 5-HPETE, and the whole pathway that we saw earlier gets produced is followed, producing LT-leukotriene A4 and the rest of the leukotrienes.
Properties of leukotrienes. Here I will be talking about some of the general properties of leukotrienes. LTB4, these are chemotactic for T lymphocytes, neutrophils and monocytes. They mainly produced in the neutrophils. LTC4, LTD4, LTE4 and LTF4, they're together called cysteine leukotrienes or sulfidopeptide leukotrienes. As I said earlier, as all of them contain a cysteine group in their chemical composition, they're called cysteine leukotrienes. They're mainly produced in the eosinophils, mast cells, basophils, and macrophages. They're together called the slow-reacting substance of anaphylaxis, mostly found in the guinea pigs, and they are also potent agents of human asthma. As a result, they are also bronchoconstrictors. They increase the vascular permeability. LTC4 and D4 are chemotactic for eosinophils and T lymphocytes. Lipoxins and other anti-inflammatory products are also formed from arachidonic acid by 15-lipooxygenase. Platelets have only 12 lipooxygenase. Moving on to the pharmacological action. First, respiratory system. Cysteine leukotrienes are spasmogens, as we have seen earlier. They are bronchoconstrictors. So they cause constriction of the bronchial smooth muscles in a dose-dependent manner. LTE4 is less potent, but it's longer acting than LTC4 and LTD4. They increase the mucus secretion. When they are given by aerosol, they decrease the specific airway conductivity and maximum respiratory flow rate, so they can cause asthma. They are asthmatic agent and the action is more potent than that caused by histamine. Cardiovascular system. LTC4 and LTD4, when they injected in IV, they cause rise in BP followed by a more prolonged fall. This is because of their property to increase vascular permeability. As a result, they decrease circulating blood volume. This leads to decreased venous return, decreased coronary circulation, coronary constriction, and decreased cardiac output. As a result, fall in BP occurs. Given topically in the nose, LTD4 increases nasal blood flow and local vascular permeability. They are more potent than histamine in causing local edema formation. Third one, inflammatory reaction. LTB4 is a potent chemotactic agent for neutrophils and macrophages and T lymphocytes. On neutrophils, it also upregulates membrane adhesion molecule expression. It increases the production of toxic oxygen products and the release of granule enzyme. All of it adds to the inflammatory reaction. On the macrophages and lymphocytes, it stimulates proliferation and cytokine release. It is found in the inflammatory exudates and tissues in many inflammatory conditions, including rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, and ulcerative colitis. Migration of neutrophils through capillaries and the clumping at the site of inflammation in tissues is also promoted by LTB4. The cysteine leukotrienes are chemotactic for eosinophils and T lymphocytes. The 5-HPETE and 5-HETE may facilitate release of histamine from the mast cells. This can also add to the inflammatory reaction. The cysteine leukotrienes are most important mediators of human allergic asthma. They are mainly present in biologically significant amounts in the sputum of a chronic bronchitis patient. An antigen-antibody reaction and they are released with prostaglandins and other autocoids. It is thought that they are one of the most important mediators of both early and late phases of asthma. GIT. They induce spastic contraction at low concentration. LTs may be responsible for abdominal colics during systemic anaphylaxis. LTB4 may induce neutrophils, which can result in IBD, inflammatory bowel disease. Cysteine leukotrienes may also cause gastric damage by constricting the gastric vasculature and inducing the release of cytokines from macrophages and monocytes. Fifth one, afferent nerves like DPG-E2 and I2, prostaglandin E2 and I2. LTB4 can also sensitize afferent nerves carrying the pain impulses, resulting in the pain and tenderness that is associated with inflammation. Here, I will be talking about the inhibitors of prostaglandins, leukotrienes, and platelet activating factor. The first one is glucocorticoids. They do so by inhibiting the very first step of conversion of phospholipids to arachidonate by inducing annexin A1 that inhibits the action of the enzyme phospholipase A2. It also inhibits the induction of the COX pathway by the chemical stimuli. So the prostaglandins and thromboxane A2 will not be produced and inflammatory reaction cannot happen. The next class of drug acts where at the point where arachidonate gets converted to prostaglandins and thromboxane A2 as well as leukotrienes by both COX pathway and lipoxygenase pathway. So here both prostaglandins as well as leukotrienes production will be inhibited. The next drug is acting at the lipoxygenase pathway by inhibiting the 5-lipoxygenase enzyme. They are called 5-lipoxygenase inhibitors. Example, Solutin. It was used for a very brief period for the treatment of asthma and was later discontinued. Next drug class of drugs are leukotriene receptor antagonist. Examples, safirlukast, montelukast, etc. As we have seen earlier, leukotrienes has been involved in both early and late phase of human asthma. So these leukotriene receptor antagonists are very valuable drugs for the treatment of bronchial asthma. The next class of drugs are platelet activating factor antagonists, whose use we will be seeing in the later sessions. Platelet activating factor. Platelet activating factor is a lipid-derived polar lipid with intense biological activity. It was also variously termed as PAF, acetha, and acetylglyceryl ether phosphorylcholine. It is a biologically active lipid that can produce effects at exceedingly low concentration, less than 10 raised to 10 millimole per liter. The name is somewhat misleading because PAF has actions on a variety of different target cells and is believed to be an important mediator in both acute and chronic allergic and inflammatory phenomena. PAF precursors are released from activated inflammatory cells by phospholipase A2. The synthesis: membrane acylglycerophosphochlorine by the action of phospholipase A2, a molecule of fatty acid goes out, giving lyso-PAF. This is a precursor for platelet activating factor. It is acted upon by the enzyme PAF acetyltransferase. A molecule of the acetyl group gets transferred to it from acetyl coenzyme A, and we get platelet activating factor. The second step, that is the conversion of lyso-PAF to platelet activating factor, is a rate limiting step of the reaction. Antigen antibody reactions and a variety of mediators can stimulate the synthesis of platelet activating factor in a calcium dependent manner. There are no preformed stores of PAF. Just like leukotrienes and prostaglandins, it will be released or synthesized in response to a chemical stimuli. The types of cells that synthesize PAF is quite limited: WBCs, platelets, vascular endothelium, and kidney cells. Coming to the degradation process, platelet activating factor by the action of PAF acetyl hydrolase, a molecule of acetate goes out. Lyso-PAF, that is the precursor of PAF, will be brought in again. Acyltransferase enzyme adds a molecule of acyltransferase to it, and we get acylglycerophosphocholin, that is the starting material for the synthesis. It gets produced again and it will be incorporated back into the membrane. This is just the reverse process of the synthesis. Moving on to the actions of platelet activating factor. First one, platelets. It induces aggregation and release the reaction and causes release of thromboxane A2. When it's given an IV injection, it causes intravascular thrombosis, probably because of the release of thromboxane A2. WBCs, it is a potent chemotactic for neutrophils, eosinophils, and monocytes. It stimulates neutrophils to aggregate and stick to the vascular endothelium and migrate to the site of infection. release of lysosomal enzyme and leukotrienes, as well as generation of superoxide radicals by the polymorphs. So it can promote the inflammatory action just like prostaglandins and leukotrienes does. The chemotactic action exhibited by the platelet activating factor is probably because of the release of LTB4. It can induce degranulation of eosinophils. Action on blood vessels. When it's given an IV injection, it causes release of endothelium-dependent relaxing factor that leads to vasodilation and fall in BP. When it's given an intracoronary injection, it causes release of thromboxane A2, which induces platelet aggregation and causing decreased coronary blood flow. It increases the vascular permeability. It is one of the most potent agents, just like histamine, causing wheal and flare. Injected in the renal artery, it causes direct vasoconstriction, decreased renal blood flow, and sodium excretion. But the action will be counteracted by prostaglandins release. We know prostaglandins exhibit a diuretic action, so the antidiuretic effect exhibited by platelet activating factor will be counteracted by the prostaglandins release. Visceral smooth muscles. Direct and through release of LTC4, thromboxane A2 and prostaglandins, it causes the contraction of visceral smooth muscles. Aerosolized PAF is the most potent bronchoconstrictor. It can cause mucosal edema, secretion, delayed and long-lasting bronchial hyperresponsiveness. Action on stomach. It is highly ulcerogenic. On IV injection, it causes erosions and mucosal bleeding. It can cause gastric smooth muscle contraction. Mechanism of action. All of them act upon membrane-bound receptors, which are G protein coupled receptors. They can act through GQ protein following IP3-DAG pathway and increase intercellular calcium. While when they act through GI protein, they can inhibit adenyl cyclase pathway and exert their effect. Platelet activating factor action can be augmented or mediated by thromboxane A2, prostaglandins, and leukotrienes, which can act as their extracellular messengers. They can also act intracellularly, especially in the endothelial cells, and when they do so, they cause exposure of neutrophil binding sites. The pro-aggregatory action exhibited by PAF is due to the unmasking of fibrinogen binding sites on the surface of platelets. Antagonist. A number of synthetic and natural antagonists have been identified. Gingolite B, which is a chemical compound which acts as a PAF antagonist as well as exhibits anti-inflammatory property, has been obtained from a Chinese plant called Ginkgo biloba. It has been used for the longest history in traditional Chinese medicine and some other structured analogues of PAF use. It has been used for the treatment of stroke, intermittent claudication, sepsis, myocardial infarction, shock, GI ulceration, asthma, and as a contraceptive. A PAF antagonist, lexipafant, is undergoing clinical trial in pancreatitis. Alprazolam and trizolam can also antagonize some of the actions of platelet activating factor. Pathological roles. It has been mediated by initiating the cell-to-cell interactions by PAF. Inflammation. At the site of inflammation releases leukocytes. The leukocytes release PAF. That leads to vasodilation, exudation and cellular infiltration and hyperalgesia. Bronchial asthma, along with LTC4 and D4, it causes bronchoconstriction, mucosal edema, it recruits eosinophils and provokes secretion. Unique in causing prolonged airway hyperreactivity, typical of human bronchial asthma. Anaphylactic and other shock conditions has been due to high circulating platelet activating factor levels. Hemostasis and thrombosis, it promotes platelet aggregation. It may also play a role in implantation of fertilized ovum, ischemic states of the brain, heart, GIT, including GI ulceration. Thank you. Now we are done with the topic. Here, these are the references. Thanking you all once again for your time and attention.